Hey guys, and welcome back to Brexit. Brexit England, Northern Ireland, and Eastern Europe. And in Brexit England, oh, what a tangle web we weave when we practice to deceive. Now, a lot of people, right, believe that that comes from William Shakespeare, but it doesn't. It actually comes from Walter Scott, Sir Walter Scott, right? Back in the very, very early 19th century. Very, very, well, I say very, very, yeah, I mean, probably before 19, probably before 1810, but so very, very early in the 19th century. But I think, right, that Shakespeare might just be like, well, you know what, I'm going to just, I'm going to do a Boris Johnson and just stick it anyway. Boris Johnson, right, here's the thing, right, Boris Johnson, where I am with Boris Johnson 10 years ago, it's like these people have just caught up now. Right, he's had, they've had to put him in government for 2.5 years, right? As the prime minister, right? As the prime minister, a man who's making decisions for this country, right? A man who practices to deceive. Right? He weaves tangled webs all the time. Right. I don't understand Boris Johnson's influence over these politicians, and it's not only Tory politicians. It's also your Labour politicians, or anyone else who decided that they was going to vote for the Brexit deal, because Boris Johnson got to basically sign it, right, without reading it. Say, how are you going to sign something, right, that's so important without reading it, right? Remember when you bought your Skoda, right, and the man said to you, oh, it's £1 a month, this car. And you're like, oh, is it? All right. Any deposit? No deposit. Just £1 a month. That's it. Well, we need to speak no more about it. I'll have it. And you got the lovely burgundy one, right, with the electric windows and the leather seats, right, heated, right. And then, right, when you got home and your partner said, well, I'm going to have a quick read through the small print just to see what's in there. He said, do you know that in 6 months you're going to have to pay £1,000 a month? What? Yeah, for 12 years, £1,000. So, what? That's what it says in the small print. Boris Johnson got them to sign. Right? Would you go to a solicitor, right, and buy a house? Sorry, would you go and buy a house, right, without, right, a solicitor going through the paperwork? I mean, first of all, that's illegal. First of all, right. So, how is that illegal? But it's not illegal, right, to sign a deal, right? It's not illegal, right, for you to not read a deal, right, that takes Britain out of the EU, right, with an oven-ready deal. How has this man managed to do this to these people? Right? He's sending his politicians out to lie for him on a daily basis. These guys are going out and they're just lying their heads off, right? And Boris Johnson is making them do it, right? You see now, Lord MacDonald is not one of them people where, you know what, I'm going to lie for you, because there's a few of them in there. There's a few of them in there that just said, you know what, I'm not going to tell lies for you, right? But so much of them have just gone with it. They've just carried on, just like, oh, well, we're in politics, so he's the boss, right? And if he sends us out to do something, then that's what we have to do. It's like your boss saying to you, listen, one of our vans is smashed up, yeah. If you can go and get us a transit, right, and we just whack our number plates on it, we should be all good. So, but you asked me to do something criminal. Yeah. You can do it? Seriously, I don't understand Boris Johnson's influence, right? A man who all he does is, every time this man opens his mouth is another lie, right? They all knew, right, his character before he was voted as the Prime Minister, right? I mean, here's the thing, right? The people in this country, right, they suffer a lack of education, right? Especially more so, right? The working class people who vote for the Tories, because I mean, other than calling them stupid, foolish idiots, what else can you say about them? I mean, you're clearly voting against your own interest, right? And I think you can do that because of a lack of education. Because I say that more middle class people, yeah, probably vote for Labour, right? And I don't know, for some reason, yeah, the working classes, I think that it makes them feel like they're, I don't know, maybe got a higher status because they think, oh look, I vote, I'm a Tory, I vote for the Tories. You say, well, where's your double fronted house? Where's your land that you've got? Right? Let me have a look at your bank account, right? And does your partner have to work? And how many holidays do you go on a year? Right? Do you have a holiday home in Devon, or in France, or in Spain? I mean, actually, this is the thing, because these are the things that it takes to be a Tory. Right? Tories don't go to food banks. Okay? Tories, right, do not work in the major supermarkets. They might own it, or there might be the managers in there, but a Tory, right, will not be stacking a shelf in a supermarket. Okay, right? If you can't get that through, right, you're extremely thick, racist, right wing head, right? I don't know what but just think of it, right? A Tory, right, will not be working in Nando's, McDonald's, or the KFC, Burger King. No. Okay, these are not the places Tories work. Okay, Tories are not dustmen. Okay, they're not road sweepers. Okay, and that's what I tell you. There's a lot of lack of education in this country, and that's why people like Boris Johnson can exploit that, right? Because working class people look and think, oh well, they've been to Eton, and they've been to Oxford, or Cambridge, or they might have went to Winchester, and you think, well, the truth is, right, these guys could have went to Grange Hill or Atley Bridge. That's what the truth is, right? Because they are shit at running a country, all of them, right? Boris Johnson's just the shittest. He's the shittiest of the shit, right? That's it, right? He's the shitty, right? Not the shizzle, the shiddle, right? Seriously, I don't understand, right? I just don't understand this country, and I don't understand, right, those politicians who knew all about Boris Johnson, knew that he was having affairs, right, knew that he left his wife when she had cancer, right, knew he was getting computer lessons from a girl who's got a pole in the middle of her living room, right? They knew all of these things, right? They knew, right, that he stole £50 million for the Garden Bridge. No, £50 million not just gone missing like that. I said, where's that £50 million? It was just on the table a minute ago. I don't know. Oh, didn't see it. I walked in here, but yeah, as I was walking out, you was walking in, and that money was on the table. Don't know, but at the door. We crossed, and I looked back and I saw the money on the table still while you walked up to the table, and now I've come back here 2 minutes later, and it's all gone. I don't know what happened to it. Some bounder, some cad must have come through the window in that split second and taken it off the table. And all the Tory MPs would be like, that's probably what happened. That's a fair point. In a split second, yeah. Because when he looked back and then he turned away, and that's when it must have happened. Seriously, I don't get, right, how these people have got this country into this position. I do know, actually, it's because you're a load of damn motherfucking stupid ass racists, right? And that's the reason why, right? Oh, What a tangle web we weave when we practice to deceive. And welcome back to By Any Means Necessary. Thank you so much for all your messages you sent me, and a special thanks here to everybody who signed up to my channel. I feel so blessed with so much people that signed up, so thank you so much for that. I'll go through all your messages, I'll answer as many as I can, but I will like all your messages for definite. And we're gonna start with this what's his name? Robert Cremo III, the murderous scumbag. This child, right, who looks like like a fucking child, right, with a fucking beard, right? Now he, right, is the one from the rooftop who murdered it's 7 people now, right? Because someone must have died overnight, so it's 7 people, right? Obviously he's been arrested, right? But he dressed as a woman to get away, to flee the scene. You think, well, at least with the Muslims, at least they go and fucking, kill themselves, right? Because obviously they believe they're getting like 72 virgins. Where the hell are you gonna get 72 virgins? Is the religion just fucked up? Seriously. Right? You got the radical fucking Christians, right? And you got the radical Muslims, right? You think to yourself, seriously, isn't this shit just really, what the hell does religion do to these people, right? When you can believe that you're gonna get 72 motherfucking virgins for killing a lot of people in this lifetime. Seriously, what kind of screw is loose within your forehead? Because there's got to be one up there, do you know what I mean? Right? But so this guy is dressed as a woman to get away, right? You think, well, so you went through all that effort, right? But then you left a gun there, right? A gun that could be traced back to you. I mean, I don't get that. I mean, why didn't you just stay there? Because clearly you wasn't planning on actually getting away, especially if you're going to leave the weapons there. I mean, that just seems really, really crazy that you would have a getaway plan, right? But you haven't got any further to go with that plan. I mean, right, once you escape the scene, but the police know who you are, right? And you're driving around in some little shitty Honda or whatever it was, right? And I just want to know what you was expecting to do. Was you what was it that you was expecting to do from there? Because that just seems like I mean, that's probably the typical mindset, yeah, of one of these people who would go and commit these type of murders. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't know. They're obviously. I'd say that they're probably obviously all of them, right? Whether they're the Christian ones or the the Donald Trump supporters or they're the Muslims. I think they've all got like some type of mental health problems. Right? I think we can all start there. That they've all got some, because what could make you go and say I want to blow myself up, right? Or I want to go and kill a load of people, right? And then try and escape or whatever. I mean, what could make you go and do them type of things? I think it could only be there's some type of mental health problems that you have in the first place. Do you know what I mean? That's not to say that should be an excuse, because your ass should still be put underneath the prison for the rest of your life. Do you know what I mean? You should not going to know, and if they're going to put you into a hospital, make sure it's a prison hospital, right, where you don't come out for the rest of your life. Right, there's no getting you better, and then you think to yourself, oh, you know what, you might have killed 20 people, but 15 years later, we think that you are just a normal citizen now, and we think we can release you back into the fold with everybody else. Lindsey Graham, right, and Rudy Giuliani have been subpoenaed by a grand jury, right, in Georgia. Right, and you could just imagine, right, that spineless, right, Rudy Giuliani, right, because this is not the congressional one where they can just say, well, yeah, I'm not really feeling that, not going, right. You don't turn up to a grand jury subpoena, yeah, they can throw your ass in prison, right, until you decide to testify. That's how grand juries work. Do you know what I mean? If you don't go, right, they'll just be like, okay, well, to the police, go and get him, right. And when they're ready to come into court to testify, they can make their way. They can make their way to us, right, via a prison truck. So we'll have to see how that plays out. And Lindsey Graham, Senator Lindsey Graham. Do you know what I mean? I can't remember a senator being subpoenaed by a grand jury. I mean, this is some serious shit for those guys. And it was a fantastic day, yeah, for Cameron Norrie, right, through to the semi-finals, right, of Wimbledon, right, and that's where he's just hit a motherfucking brick wall. Because you know when you play against the brick wall, right, and you know you're playing tennis against the brick wall's always going to win, isn't it? Because it always gets the ball back to you, no matter what. And that's who he's meeting, Djokovic, right? And let me tell you, right, that is going to be... Listen, he is going to have... If he beats Djokovic, right, then I will take my hat off to that man. Because you know something, yeah? I think that Djokovic is probably... He's more than... Well, he's the best player I've ever seen. Right, I haven't seen a player as good as Djokovic, and I've seen a lot of tennis players because I love tennis, right? But Djokovic, he is. I mean, he's like a machine. He's something else. He's like a machine, right? He just keeps going and just keeps going and just keeps going, right? And you know, he will have Djokovic will, you know, for him to beat you, yeah, he will have you out there for 6-8 hours straight, right? He doesn't, you know, he does not give up. He's relentless, right? He's like the Terminator. Right? He is relentless, right? So I think Cameron Norrie, I'm really pleased he's got to the semi-finals, and I would really love to see him beat Djokovic, but he has got one uphill battle. When I say, I mean, it's like, you know, it's a hill that's probably like that he's got to go up, right? Because Djokovic is, when I tell you he's something else, he's a machine when it comes to tennis. He truly is. So good luck to Cameron. There's been a 40% rise in people running off with people's damn petrol, right? From the petrol stations, and they run off with petrol and diesel, going in, filling up, right? And gone, right? Oh, you can't pass a little something to me. But you know, I was out a couple of weeks ago. I was out, right, and and it was about 11:30, and I pulled into like this trading estate, right, where I do a collection, and all of a sudden I just looked over, right, and there's a guy over there, right, and he's siphoning, right, diesel out of a lorry that's there, right, and I was like, oh, there we go. But I didn't want it. Obviously, I didn't want him to see that I had seen him, because he didn't see. I know he didn't see that I'd seen him, because I saw him, right, when he first saw me, right, because I caught a glimpse of him and I saw him hide. Right? But then when he thinks that I didn't see him, right, he carried on what he was doing, right, and he had like 2 of those 25-litre. Right, so he put one in the boot, and then I don't know if the other one was filled up, because I was only in there for a few minutes. So I thought, you know what I'm going to do is on Monday, yeah, I'm just going to go into, because you know, unfortunately, I can't call the police on people, because the police will turn up there. Then the next thing they'll be accusing me of something. Right, so I thought, you know what, the best thing I can do is at least just go to the company themselves and just tell them what I want, right? So I got in there, yeah, on the Tuesday. I was supposed to go in on Monday, but I went on the Tuesday morning, right? And there's two women in there. I said, listen, you know what? I see someone, they were siphoning like diesel out of your lorry. So, and I said, I don't know. So she said, well, yeah, they broke the cap. Right, I said, oh right, because I thought it could just be like one of your previous drivers or something like that, who's just kept a key, right, for the petrol, right, so he could just come back and just take whatever, right. But no, it turns out that the guy had broke the cap, right, and he was taking the fuel out, right. So I just said to one of the women really casually, I said to her, listen, I would have loved to have called the police, but you know, as a black man, I can't really do that. And she went like, she was taken aback, and she went to me, isn't that a shame? Because, do you know, I didn't even clock that's what she went to me, isn't that a shame that you feel that you can't call the police? I went, yeah. But understand, yeah, people are out there stealing petrol and diesel because they can't afford to pay for the shite. That's why they're out there doing that. Do you know what I mean? So the petrol stations now, the people are just going to be like, pay first. No, you'll pay first. That's what's going to be going on in the petrol station. People are like, pissed off. That's why I always use pay at the pump. 7 out of 10 people in the UK think Boris Johnson should resign and get the hell out of here. That's what he believes. And I tell you who also believes that is Zippy. Savage Javid also believes that too. Right, because he resigned, right, as the health minister, and this is the second time Savage Javid has walked away from a Boris Johnson-led government. Because remember, before he resigned before and said, no chancellor could do what the prime minister asked me to do, and Rishi Sunak will do that. I will, and then he got the job, right? So, and him too. Rishi Sunak's like, that's it. I'm out of here. I'm taking my riches. I'm taking my rich wife, with her non-dom status, and we are out. Right? We don't want to live in this building. Right? This one of the most plush places in London. We got police protection outside. We don't want to live here. Okay? Don't live here no more. Right? Because the guy next door. Right? The guy next door has trashed our lives. He's fucked us up. So we no longer want to live here. So Rishi Sunak and his wife is out. Right, Zippy, right, Savage Javid, right, is out. Right, imagine, right, the Rishi Sunaks, or like the kids like to call him Fishy Poo Stack, right. Him and Boris Johnson, I thought that man was like tight, right. But he's just like, I can no longer, right, put up with this bullshit. I can no longer defend this shit. You can't be sending me out there, right, like a goldfish in a bowl, right, and people are looking at me and saying, you're lying, you liar. Right? Because that's what's happening to. Because the thing is, right, all of these MPs, right, they're coming out, right, and they're telling all these lies, right, and we're all just looking and saying, but we know you're lying. How are you doing that? How are you going out there knowing that you're lying, knowing that the people know you're lying? Right? These things, right, will all come back on all of them. Because they're very soon, very, very soon, and when I say very, very soon, I mean soon, there is going to be, right, a new leader of the Tory party, right, and now all these guys who have been out there soiling themselves, right, all these things are going to come back on them. Oh well, he was telling lies for the last prime minister. So yeah, so Savage Javid gone. Rishi Sunak gone. There have been this was last night, loads of junior ministers gone, right? But this morning, oh my God, this morning it has gone absolutely crazy. There are ministers resigning all over the place. And we've got Prime Minister's questions to this. That's gonna really be like, whew, right? But you got I don't know, because I just don't think. I think Boris Johnson's going to go and try and front at the Prime Minister's questions, but I mean he's going to get crucified. I want to know if the Tory politicians how much noise is going to be coming from their side. That is one thing I would certainly like to know. I mean, the Solicitor General, right, has resigned. It's just, where Boris Johnson has taken this government to, right? It's just really, I don't think it's ever been this low. Yesterday I heard, I see an interview of Jacob Rees-Mogg, and Jacob Rees-Mogg was speaking about, because Jacob Rees-Mogg, right? There's one thing about him, right? This man is a real historian. That's one thing that you can certainly say about him, because like so much times, yeah, I've heard him bring back names of prime ministers and thought, wow. Do you know what I mean? Because I know that the people of this country would have no clue who he's talking about. They have no clue who he's talking about, right? So yesterday he was speaking about because I think Lord Sainsbury, right? Lord Sainsbury was prime minister in this country. It's very strange with Lord Sainsbury, yeah, because Lord Sainsbury was prime minister in this country 3 times, right? And he's prime minister for 13 years, right? But he was prime minister for 1 year at one of those times. right? So which means that he must have done he must have done a 7 year stint, right, and then a 6 years. He must have done a 7 year, but 6 or 5 years. Somewhere along the line, yeah, he has done. Right, he must have done a 7 and a 5. Right, I've just remembered this for some reason because I've always found it really strange that he was prime minister 3 times, but one of those times was only for a year. And I know that time it was 1885 to 1886 because Disraeli, right, was Disraeli was prime minister. Disraeli died in 1881. Disraeli died in 1881. But in 18, oh God, I'm gonna have to read some history books to find out because I know, but I can't remember the exact details of this. But yeah, Disraeli died in 1881. But in 1885, right, Lord Salisbury was the prime minister for 1 year. Right, but just say, right, now Jacob Rees-Mogg, right, he was speaking about Lord Salisbury, speaking about how Lord Sainsbury was Lord Salisbury was prime minister, and I think he lost quite a lot of his cabinet, and then he went on to serve for at least 10 years, right, when he lost a lot of his cabinet. So Jacob Rees-Mogg, he believes that Boris Johnson is some type of Lord Salisbury reborn. I probably don't think so. Nadeem Zahawi, or as he's known to everybody else, right, Pinhead Zippy, right, has been made into the Chancellor of the Exchequer. So he's taken. Why is it, right? Hold on. Our last 3 chancellors has been Asian, right? So he's been made into the Chancellor, right? But Nadeem Zahawi, right, is he pisses me off more than Priti Patel. That's what the truth is. I despise that. I despise him. Right? I think he's a fucking arsehole, right? Because that man came to this country, right, when he was 11, I think, right? Couldn't speak a word of English, right? He's a very successful businessman, right? But the truth is, his ass should be in fucking Rwanda. Right, because the same people, right, who this man is looking at, right, who look like him, right, he, right, is sitting around a cabinet table saying, "Oh no, we should send their fucking ass to Rwanda." I don't want to give those fucking brown motherfucking asses the same, the same things that I had. Oh no, why should they? Right, get anything that what I had? Right, I'm going to pull up the rope behind me. I'm going to shut the door. Right, I'm going to sail away. Right, because those brown motherfucking bastards, right, should have stayed where the fuck they was. Now he's from Iraq or Iran. He's from Iraq or Iran. Right, he's from one of the two. I can't remember which one. But you just think to yourself, something, right? This man is Priti Patel in trousers, or as we like to call her, not so Priti Patel, aka Humpty Dumpty. Right, now this man is Priti motherfucking Patel in trousers, right? And he sits back, right, and pretends like, oh, well, nothing to do with me. So when you're looking at people, right, who look like you, right, well, after you come to this country as a refugee and you've had all the opportunities, he says to those people, you can't get those same opportunities that I had. Fuck off. No wonder he's a fucking Tory. And then we move on to Pencil Neck Tin Lizzie Truss must simply be pissed because Tin Lizzie Truss, Pencil Neck herself, wanted to be the Chancellor. But Nadeem Zahawi's just gone in there and just said, you know what? make me the Chancellor or I'm out. That's what he said to the Prime Minister yesterday, right? And Boris Johnson had to do like, weigh up the odds, right? Because I don't know, because Liz Truss is very ambitious, so I would have thought that she would have been like, I sense my chance to take over, yeah. Right? I would have thought that would have what Liz Truss would have been doing, right? But I mean, she's staying in the well for now. I could finish this video, and by the time I finish this video, right, the woman has resigned because there's been so many resignations this morning, right? More resignations than when was there a lot of resignations? Because that's what this is. It's just like they're all over the place. And yesterday in the Houses of Parliament there was bouts of laughter. People was bellowing. When I tell you people was laughing, proper hard, people was laughing, right? I can't remember what the guy's name was. Who was he's the guy that always does it though for Boris Johnson. He's always in the House of Parliament, just basically saying to people, you are bringing personality into this, and this is about so much times he said that yesterday. When I tell you, if you ask him a serious question about about the whole Chris Pincher affair, right? You ask him a serious question about that, and every single time, right, he was just coming back with, oh well, you're looking at Boris Johnson's personality, right? Didn't answer the questions because obviously you can't. Right? He's just out there to just start just. He's very good at it though, because he just filibusters basically, and he just says a load of nonsense, and he was just telling you, oh, you're about personality, and then he'll go on to talk about the vaccine rollout or the pandemic or getting Brexit done. So the bouts of laughter yesterday in the House of Parliament, right, was due to the fact that Boris Johnson said that he forgot about the report on Chris Pincher. And say, well, haven't you used that before? That excuse that you forgot. See, I don't really think that's something that you can really forget. Do you know what I mean? If someone says to you, this motherfucker's a fucking sexual predator, right, you've been fucking going around, grabbing blokes by the Johnson. Oh, sorry, Prime Minister. I meant by the bell end, Prime Minister. I didn't realise they were Johnson and Johnson. Anyway, right. So, when I tell you, if you heard the laughter, right, and it was just spontaneous laughter, right, and people was actually laughing properly. It's not no fake laugh. It was proper laughing because it's like that's his excuse now, is that he forgot. Because first of all, it wasn't me. And then it was, yes, we knew a little bit about it, but we looked at the whole picture, and overall we thought to ourselves, well, there's been allegations. Yeah, there's been 2 allegations to 2 different police forces as well. And this was before, right? Just before, because it's 2019, right? The police in wherever his constituency is, and plus the Met had to question his ass, right, about what he's been doing, right, going round, right, and sexually assaulting men. That's really, I don't know, because he seems to be doing this quite a lot, right? And you look at him, and like he's not he's not a chap that you look at and think to yourself, well, if he was to have a go at me, I would back down and run off. Right? He looks like you could body slam him. And so I'm not trying to think of what kind of men, right, is this man interfering with. I don't know. A lot of these people, they seem to. I don't know. That's a very, very strange story. Because when I look at him, I just look at him for myself. Really? You're a sexual predator, right? I always thought there was much bigger, but each to their own, I suppose. Nadine Dorries is sticking to the plan. Right, she sent out a tweet, right, about Nadine Zahawi's new job, but then she quickly deleted it and said, "Well, why you got to delete that, Nadine? Why are you deleting? Why are you deleting tweets? You know why she's deleting tweets? Because she's the world's most stupid politician. That's the reason why she's deleting tweets." The SNP are happy with Keir Starmer. The SNP is over the moon because Keir Starmer has just given them he's just basically handed them a referendum. Because now, right, Nicola Sturgeon can just say to the people of Scotland, look how Westminster are treating us. Right, Boris Johnson's going to refuse us. Right, Keir Starmer, right, is saying, you know what, it would never happen under him. Right. Whereas Keir Starmer should have just been like, well, listen, the truth is, right, if Labour, if you bring in a Labour government, right, we won't need to have a referendum in Scotland because the Scottish people, right, cannot stand, right, having a Conservative government. That's what, let's say, read the fucking room, you fucking dick. Read the room. But he doesn't because he doesn't know how. He's an arse. Boris Johnson has been accused of overselling Brexit, says a special committee of MPs. Overselling? Really? Yes, he's been overselling. Do not pretend the Australia trade deal will bring any benefits to the United Kingdom, says a panel of MPs. Probably the same. One's a special committee, the other one's a panel, but probably the same thing, just in different newspapers. But it was probably the same people. And Portsmouth Borough Council took out an £8 million loan to build a new, all shiny Brexit warehouse where they could, bring in the trade, import trade and export trade. They could deal with it all day. You got one door in and out, and then you got, because there's loads of doors, in, out, in, out, in, out. But it may never be used. And you know what? They've still got to pay for the shit. They've still got to pay the loan. Even though you think to yourself, you know what? I guarantee you that this fucking council, right, have probably got £100 million, right, in some type of Swiss bank account or something like that. Because they've all got that. All the councils have got that. They've got large amounts of money, right, in bank accounts all over the world. All the councils, they all do that. Right. It come out a few years ago where they was like, whoa, where all that money come from? They said, well, we're just keeping it for a rainy day. So this shit's been raining for the longest time in this country, right? But but that is Brexit Britain, Brexit England. That is how we do. That's how we do things over here. We buy a load of PPE, right, that's unusable, right, and then we store it in warehouses that cost us £500,000 a day, and then we just burn the shit. That is Brexit England. Brexit England, right, is a disgusting place that's full of stupid people that are racist idiots, right? And that's why this country, right, has been flushed away. It's in the toilet. And may I just say this wouldn't have happened under Jeremy Corbyn. I've been on for quite a while now, so I have to chill out of here. This, my friends, is By Any Means Necessary. I'm the MC John Ribbs. It was really nice to speak to you guys. Comments below.